So I made a video where I used an example where I said x equals x plus 1 has no solutions, and people tried to correct me on that. And to me, that just demonstrates a fact that a lot of people don't like to accept. When a speaker delivers a message, yeah, he bears the burden of delivering the message, but if the listener chooses to engage with the message, then the listener bears the burden of receiving the message. And that includes understanding hidden premises and not equivocating. If I tell you that before I came out here I drew a circle on a chalkboard, do I have to explain to you that the chalkboard is flat? That I drew a circle on a Euclidean plane? And if I do have to explain that to you, why is that any more deserving of clarification than anything else included in that? Do I have to explain to you that the chalk was white? Or if it was red chalk, would I have to explain to you what shade of red? Would I have to explain to you it was the color red and not I read a book? And if that's the case, any intelligent person should understand that I didn't read a circle like I would read a book. And since we've thrown reasonable expectations of listening comprehension out of the window, why don't I clarify that I'm not speaking homonyms from other languages? Why don't I clarify that I'm speaking English? Well, because at that point, if I have to instantiate English, then how do I instantiate it without speaking English? Because if you say, oh, well, you should point to the circle and say circle, and that's how you teach me what the word means, you're exactly right. Language is symbolic, and you're expected to have a certain level of comprehension to understand that. You're supposed to understand that me pointing at the circle means that's a circle, because I have no way of teaching you that if you don't. People are not expected to fill in the gaps for you. That is literally a comprehension test that you should have passed in school. If I point to the equation x equals x plus 1 and I say, hey, this has no solution, you should understand that I'm talking about the thing I'm talking about and not something that looks like it that you could make it about. That's equivocation, like when we said read as in read a book versus read the color red. Just because you can go into Python and write x equals x plus 1 does not mean that that is the same as the algebraic equation x equals x plus 1. Because in algebra, if you have a system of equations like y equals 2x, x plus y equals 3, you can choose to solve for y first, you can choose to solve for x first. The order does not matter. Now go back to Python and try to pretend that the order doesn't matter and type x equals x plus 1 before you instantiate x as a variable, and your computer will tell you that you're an idiot. Because you can't just ignore the context in which somebody is speaking. The burden is actually on you to pick up on that context. And you're not clever for intentionally ignoring that context, or equivocating, or not picking up on stuck premises. You're either being intellectually dishonest or you lack basic comprehension skills.